Never stops. So with the doors, at least, I'm at prep stage, paint prep. So I'm using some guide coat, which is just a powder, and comes in a little tub, and I'm just spreading this all around, and this will show me my low spots. So it's going to cover this. I don't want to use paint because I don't want to use anything that's going to interfere with the surface. Some people just use like a black spray paint, but you know, painting it with mixing your paints up, yeah, it's not a good idea. I don't think anyway. I know that a lot of people do it and have great results, but I just thought I'd get some of this and try it out. It's just been working really great, and this will highlight the highs and lows. The idea is to basically sand this lightly off with a block and help me get it nice and flat. So I've just sanded off that guide coat with some 400 grit, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll give it a clean with a rag, and then maybe apply some more and just check to see that I've gotten rid of all of the low points. But it's feeling very flat. This was a new panel anyway, but it did have some dents in it, which I fixed using my PDR tool and a little bit of panel beating. But so they weren't brand new panels straight from the store. I bought them from another mini guy, which is really helpful. Saved a little bit of money, but they did need a little bit of work. So there's my panel. You can see there's still some low points here. So I can just go over these. In different directions. So this was a primer, spray sealer primer, quite thin actually, really just to take out some of the imperfections in the panel, and seems to have worked pretty well. And I might hit this with an orbital sander as well, with some even finer paper, maybe 600 or something, but at the moment this is looking pretty good. It needs to be a little bit rough so that when I paint it, it's got a nice surface to adhere to. So I've come 900 kilometres to get some interior Hardura for the Mini. Well, I work in Sydney, I live in Melbourne, so there's sort of 900 kilometres difference. So this place is just near the airport in Sydney, and I thought I'd come and drop in and see this material that, this is the only place I can find in Australia that sells this Hardura vinyl that was used in Jags and Minis and lots of other cars, British cars from around that period, Land Rovers and so forth in the 60s. And they sell it here, so I'm going to see if I can get some of that. I'll probably have to send it back to me because I won't be able to fit it on the plane, but I might buy a couple of meters of that, so I'll go and check it out. So good news, I've just been to a place called Prostich in Sydney that has the original Hardura vinyl that was used in the early Australian Minis, which was unique. It wasn't used in the UK as far as I know. The original commercial minivans didn't have carpet, and most people who are restoring them do carpet, but I just think I like the look of the original vinyl, and it's quite hard wearing, and it just suits the whole commercial van style. So I've got a metre of that. It's 1.4 metres wide, and that'll be enough to do kick plates, floor, and other bits and pieces of trim. And it looks fantastic. It's like a jute-backed stuff that I'll be able to stick to the firewall, and I have all the original bits of material and floor panels and stuff that are all pretty ratty, but I can use them as a template and cut around them to make my new floors. So pretty happy, really friendly guys. So that's Prostich in Sydney. I'll put a link below. And they do Jaguars, Land Rover, all the British stuff, and lots of other combi vans and Volkswagen, that sort of stuff as well. So check them out, really friendly, amazing upholstery service as well, and seats and all the rest of it. So yeah, good one to go and check out. So that's next. We'll get that sent to me, and then I'll start with using the bits that I've got as a template, cutting it out, and putting in my new floor materials once it's painted. So yeah, cool. Interesting shaped package arrived. Yes, I think I know what it is. This is what my mini commercial van was covered with inside on the firewalls and everything. It's called Hardura, and it has this sort of jute thick matting underneath it. And this goes up on the firewall, and which is ironic because this stuff's highly flammable, as I discovered when I was welding. But like one tiny spark and bang, the whole thing just goes up. But basically this was all up inside the firewall and on the sort of kick wings inside the cabin. And most people just cover it with carpet, but that's not original, and I like the look of the raw rubber. So this stuff was actually used in Jags, in the boot, and I think some MGs and Land Rover and lots of British cars, Wolseleys and all sorts of stuff. And I managed to find a company in Australia called Prostich that can actually get this from the UK. It doesn't quite look the same, but it'd be close enough. So that's what I've got today. That's this. So it's really hard wearing vinyl with a bit of soundproofing, well, a bit of sort of jute sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, hair sort of backing, which is, yeah, slightly thick. That's fine. So I'm going to lay down all my pieces on this and use them as a template, cut this out, and this is going to go on the inside of the car, which I think will make it look really original. And if I have enough material left over, which I'm not sure I will, I was going to do the back mat, but I think I'll just have to do that a different way. But so this will be enough to do the inside, the floor, the firewall, and so forth. And I think it should look like the original car that rolled off the production line. It should look really nice. So these are my side window Afterthought windows, I like to call them. They're just riveted on. So what I've decided to do is to be able to get in here to paint it properly. I'm going to have to take them out, and it's pretty easy. You could just drill out the rivets, put them back on again later. I need to actually get them out because I need to put new felt in there as well, because they rattle like crazy. So really, to paint it properly, I have to get those out. I've just put masking tape down there to stop anything from falling down, because I'm going to drill out these rivets. So I don't want any crap falling down in there that might rust, even though it's aluminium. So let's get these out. One of them I've already drilled through. That worked quite well. So I'm just going to continue on. So now I've drilled through all of the rivets and it should just come off. There it is. You can see how it was done. So now they'll let me actually get there and clean it up. I'd like to actually seal it up back to how it was from the factory, but these are period windows which are quite rare. What do you think? What should I do? Seal it up or keep it as it was modified straight after delivery? So at paint prep stage, so I might have done my last weld, but I don't think I've done my last panel repair as far as dents go. So I've taken it back to bare metal here, and you'll see there's a low spot here, low spot here. And here you can see original black metal protection, the red primer, then the primer before the final coat, and then the paint job that I did a few years ago, where I just basically roughed up the surface, did a epoxy prime, and then my final coat over the top. So these are all the layers that I'm going to take off to get back to bare metal. Paint prep stage. So this is the left hand side. I've taken it back to bare metal. Obviously that's where the repairs were done. There, had some tiny little crazes in the metal which I've polished out with my little Roloc disc. So looking clean and ready to etch prime. And after some epoxy super etch primer, it's looking nice and clean. Oh, so much work to actually clean up all around here and get it back to bare metal, but I'm glad I've done it. It's going to be much nicer finish. It's going to be nice and even. There are my nice doors that I can't wait to put on. And yeah, the next step is to go and clean up the front as well, get that back to bare metal. Never stops. But anyway, it's starting to look like a nice neat car. I've got to try to work out where to get this trim color if I can, or replace with black or something. And also the roof, it's in pretty good condition, but it's got a rip there, so I might have to replace that as well. It never stops. Never stops. So I think I'll come up with a date to have the car finished by, which is in July 2019, so in a couple of months' time. And the reason is there's a big mini show in Melbourne to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Mini, and it will be the 50th anniversary of my particular car, Malmo, and my 48th birthday as well. So I think it's a good time. I really believe in having a date to work to. It helps you get it finished. Still lots of little things to do, but it is taking shape and starting to look like a car again. So hopefully the video I make when it's done will be from the car show with lots of other Minis celebrating this cool little car. So let's see how we go.